Louis Wayne was a much celebrated Victorian artist who was adored for his anthropomorphic drawings and paintings and illustrations of cats, taking on sort of human postures or clothes or activities. You feel a real overbearing sense of responsibility sometimes, especially with a character who not many people know about. I don't think it's safe to say that he's more known for his work than his life story. I was drawn to him because of his artistry, because I didn't know anything about him either. I came to this fresh, and I found him incredibly persuasive in a very gentle way. And the fact that he was so talented and lived through so much tragedy and was so loved and revered by many generations, a whole generation of young people of every quarter of society during his time, and casually forgotten about and then reinvigorated once he was rediscovered by his fans in the pauper house, in the mental asylum that he ended up in. I found that whole journey just extraordinary, and to be able to play someone from such a young age to final moments of his life was a big draw. I had a huge connection to Louis Wayne because I as an artist, I mean, I love drawing. I don't do enough of it, and the chance to really try and focus on that was a gift. And I tried to, for the purposes of the role, to imitate, and therefore, you by nature, by just copying brushstrokes or energy or methodology or end result, although a very hashed version of it, you do then start to weirdly embody. It's like copying someone's signature. There's something spooky about it. You start to do something which you think, well, this hand-eye coordinate, this is getting nearer to that person, inhabiting that person's experience. It's a love story, and it tackles huge issues of the time, sociological ones and politics a little bit, but mainly, mental health. But at the center of it, there's this incredible love story. Will's very good at that. He's very good at building texture into a relationship with an audience, understanding the sensory without being explicit or overly sexual. It's just about feeling something beyond seeing two people together. It's everything that relates them to one another: a color, a feeling, a sound, a smell, everything that's associative, which, as we all know from relationships, is why even when you're in the midst of tragedy of losing someone, there comes this other thing which is both painful but also a great comfort, where you see them and feel them and are reminded of them and feel almost in the company of them by other things they've left behind that embody them without their presence needing to be physical, whether it is a sound or an attitude or something other than them that brings them fully back into your world, into your life. There have been some very interesting attempts of late to incur modern elements, whether it's iPhone suddenly appearing in the early 1800s or pop music and a soundtrack. But I think what Will does is he embraces something of his eclectic taste from within that period that reflects a modern sensibility, if that makes sense. We play with the linear narrative a little bit, boldly, I think, very much in the opening sequence of the film. And I think in some of the anachronisms, but they don't grate, nothing pops. You don't come away going, ooh, what a diverse cast, or ooh, that bit sort of jumped out as being a wee bit modern. It all has its place. He's created a world that reflects that time and yet is utterly relatable to now. She has a sort of effortless charm. She's so at ease in front of the camera and natural, and yet humble and generous as an actress, and everything you could wish to work with on any given day, and a friend, which is a huge added bonus. Caroline is played by Andrea Riseborough, who has the onerous task of being the matriarch, trying to hold it all together with Louis' chaotic idea of how to earn money and his missteps in life and all the sort of social pressures on that household. They're all brilliant. They match each other in energy. They all are their own person. They hold the screen as their characters, and yet it's this sort of extraordinary female unit of great energy that at times is very overbearing for Louis as the only male of the household. Cats are great. And I think it's a celebration of them as much as it is Louis Wayne and what he did, which is domesticate the cat, which was seen as vermin, one up from the mice they were used to catch. And literally bags of cats were thrown in the Thames. That was the cliche and the truth. And he adopted a cat, put it on a lead, rather eccentrically walked it around Hampstead Heath. I think even for now, that would get a few raised eyebrows. Never work with cats. And if you work with Will Sharpe and he scripts a cat, then does this, just bundle the ball of paper up and throw it towards the cat and see what happens, because it never works out as you expect. Funnily enough, really small kittens behave like small kittens. You put a ball of wool in front of them and they will, paw it. And that's very cute and quaint. And you think, this is great. They're doing exactly what's required. When you want a cat to come to a saucer of food who's a little bit older, you might waste half a day's filming on that one moment.